Greetings to you this day. This is Michelle Strickland, and I'm coming to you today with Kicking It on the Chase. When I do it, it's a segment that I normally do on a Saturday, but I also can do it any day of the week, especially if I'm traveling. I normally focus on fun activities and stuff like that, and things for singles to consider when they're out there trying to meet people and giving them some suggestions. But it's also an opportunity for me to discuss ways for people who are married in committed relationships or just getting to know each other, ways to interact with each other. Well, how can I say it? I usually discuss topics on ways to interact with each other, so that you can keep everything fresh and have fun and just enjoy each other. But anyway, it's a little bit different. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I think that in this time that, even with the singles, whether you're single, whether you're in getting to know somebody, or you're in a committed relationship, or you're married, this is something that I think is very important, and it's something that it's getting better though. I'm gonna say this to you. I feel like it's getting better, but it's still a long way to go. And this whole topic, the topics that I bring you are topics that I developed a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, something like that, so that I could talk to you about some practical things, that's going to be relevant for the rest of your life, And the one thing that I see is really lacking in people nowadays is accountability. So what we're going to talk about today, I'm going to discuss something a little bit different than I normally would on a Saturday when dealing with Kicking It on the Chase with Shelly. But what we're going to do is we're going to start dealing with tactful accountability. We're going to deal today with tactful accountability, okay? And that's important when you're interacting with someone, whether it's at your job, whether it's at home, or whether it's out in the community. We need to learn how to be more tactful with each other. And I try to be. I tease people a lot. My humor can be kind of dry, and it can be kind of dark sometimes. But I love God though. But one thing that I'm going to do is, when I do something that's not right, or when somebody calls me out or says that something, that I offended them, I will apologize for that. I will find some sensitivity, and then I will address whatever that particular situation is, But we have to be tactful. We need to become more tactful. That's something we need to work on, because, we're sometimes too rude. And I know I can be blunt when I need to be. And I've had to reel myself in, because I can get with people. But if but I know I can destroy them with a sentence or two, or a paragraph, or I could destroy somebody with with a couple of sentences. But I don't try to hit below the belt. Boom. I don't try to do people like that unless I feel like they deserve it. Then I will. And it's on purpose when I do it. But that's not the way I want to go. But we have to be, even though I'm working on that. That's why I don't really associate with too many people, because that just makes it easier for me to not have to step outside myself very often. Because, I'm not going to allow myself to be around people who are self-serving, where they're just out for themselves and they're willing to do whatever. Because I've been done in for that. I helped the last person I helped. I don't know what the world they told whoever, I got into a bad situation helping people out. So I have had to change my strategy on how I deal with people and how I help them. I will never be the same with people again, ever. I'm going to do, however I help people in my future is going to be a whole lot different. But they weren't tactful. They were very rude, and it created a lot of conflict. So we have to be aware, even as singles. I don't care what my age is, even as a single, we have to be cautious of people, anybody. We have to be tactful how we interact with people and how we deal with them. You know, that's very important. So, but I see the past year and a half, I've seen some really positive things, but we got a long way to go. But let me go ahead on so I don't run out. I don't want to go past a certain time because I won't be able to, because they'll cut it off, my message off. We all make mistakes. It's a natural part of being human. But what truly defines us is how we take responsibility for the mistakes and how we approach accountability. It's important when we make a mistake or when we do something wrong, say it. But don't just say it. Do something to improve it. In our daily lives, misunderstandings happen, and sometimes we may inadvertently hurt others. But instead of ignoring or denying our mistakes, let's learn to be tactful in how we handle them. Step 1, acknowledge your mistake. When you realize you've done something wrong, admit it to yourself and to others involved. Avoid making excuses or shifting blame. Acknowledging your mistakes shows courage and integrity. That's very important. That's very important. That's just very important. I think everybody can understand what I'm saying on that without me having to elaborate. Let me say this last sentence again. Acknowledge your mistakes shows courage and integrity. I'm about that. Do I always have integrity? No, I like to have fun and kick it like everybody sometimes. I'm just telling you the truth. But when I make a mistake, I acknowledge I made a mistake. And I mean, it takes a lot of courage to do that. That'll make it right. I'm just saying, I have to deal with whatever my consequence is for my stupidity. Step 2, apologize sincerely. Say I'm sorry and mean it. Let me say something right there before I finish. If you're not sorry, don't say you're sorry. Say I apologize, because you know it wasn't the thing to do. Don't just say you sorry if you're not sorry. Say I apologize. That way, because if you're not sorry, that's a lie before hell. If you did something on purpose and you meant it for whatever devastation you meant it for, don't say you sorry. Say if you're not sorry, it can just say you apologize. Let me go on. Offer genuine remorse for the harm caused and be specific about what you're sorry for or what you're apologizing for. A heartfelt apology can begin the healing process and rebuild trust. Now, I did these lessons. I constructed these lessons a couple of years ago, and I'm going to be talking about the same stuff till I'm dead, till I can't talk no more. And I might add to it as time goes. Step 3, learn and grow. Reflect on what led to the mistake and understand how it impacted others. Use the experience as an opportunity for personal growth and to prevent similar errors in the future. And I used to tell my students back in the day, when we make a mistake, other people usually feel it worse than we do. I want you to hear me. When we make a mistake, other people usually feel it worse than we do. Anyway, step 4, make amends. If possible, take actions to repair the damage caused. Sometimes it's not enough to say sorry. Our actions speak louder than words. Sometimes, we just better to just tell somebody you sorry or you apologize, even if it ain't gonna help anything, just because it's the right thing to do. Step 5, accept the consequences. Accountability means understanding that every action has consequences. Embrace the outcomes of your mistakes and learn from them.